What's going on, Big Blue Nation? Thanks for checking out the UK Superfan channel. On today's video, we're going to do a little preview on Kentucky's game tonight versus the Missouri Tigers. Cats will be playing on the road tonight. It'll be a 7 o'clock start time on ESPN2. This is a game that was originally scheduled to be played on Tuesday night and kind of got moved back a day. And obviously it's been a while since we played. Since last week's game against Alabama, since the Cats have been on the court, and we had a little pause over the weekend, as most of you know. I'm still not exactly sure what caused the pause, but it forced us to cancel the game with Texas, and it was a game that really Kentucky desperately needed to play, just because of the fact that the runway is, as we've referred to it, much of the season, it's getting smaller, and this Kentucky team is running out of time to really get its feet on the ground. And we saw it in that Alabama game last week. Kentucky continues to improve on the defensive end, and we really stymied a great Alabama offense last week, and really had as good a defensive performance as you could possibly want. And again, we were just foiled in the end with the last 4 minutes of the game. We just went into one of those offensive funks that this team has consistently went into. That's probably the most consistent thing about this team all year, is the inability to score, especially in the half court. And there's been a couple of times this season where I really thought we were going to break out because we were playing so good on the defensive end, and I saw guys starting to really figure out what their roles were and how they could help this team. But at the end, we've had so many heartbreaking losses in the final minutes. I mean, you can go back to early in the year, and it was just one after another. But now here we are. I'm doing a preview video for a team that's 5-10, not a position that any of us really could have imagined. But when you really look at the way everything has went, and it's been a weird, wild college basketball season, as we thought it would. A lot of games have gotten canceled. A lot of games have gotten postponed or delayed. And I guess we're just lucky that we've gotten what a season that what part of a season we have actually got to have, and while it's not our year, or it appears to not be our year, there's a lot of folks that are enjoying some big time success. You got Baylor down there. They just been building a strong program, over the last several years, and them and Gonzaga, they both those teams, I consider them to be pretty much 1 and 1A, the two best teams, and I think everybody else is a good step below them. And so it's good for a couple of schools that's not known as big monster Power 5 schools, and I'm sure their fan bases are elated. But here in Kentucky, not so much. Maybe the biggest thing is, I don't know if anybody's been paying attention, but the EKU Colonels over there in the OVC, they've really been playing well. They got another big win last night in overtime against Jacksonville State, and so I did want to mention them before I keep going. But yeah, our Cats, we're 5-10. Your record is what it is. And like we've talked about over and over ad nauseum, it's mostly just our inability to get enough offense, and we don't have a go-to guy, really, that we can really count on to go get us that basket, and that's really kind of, really the difference. If you look at the last team that we had that wasn't so good, it was sort of, a similar scenario with that team. So, like I said, it is what it is, but we'll return to the court, after that 48-hour pause. Cal said yesterday he didn't expect anyone to miss due to COVID. And, the only player that we'll probably be without is is Terrence Clark. But there is optimism that, he could start practicing, as early as next week. So, maybe we can get Terrence Clark back, into the fold, and we can, get on a hot streak. It's really not how you're playing at the beginning or middle of the year. It's really how you start playing from now to the end. Is what it really boils down to. The only problem with us is we've dug ourselves in a hole to where, aside from maybe winning out, we'd probably have to win the SEC tournament, just being a realist, to get in the NCAA tournament. I mean, we'd have to win the SEC tournament just to be able to get a bid into the NCAAs. So it's definitely going to be a long uphill battle. There's no doubt about it. We got this Missouri team. They're 11-3. 4-3 in SEC play, and this is not a team as most of the seasons went on that I was real big on, actually. And they've sort of steadily gotten a little better. I thought their Achilles heel would be their shooting, and it has been. They're only shooting the three ball at about 30%, but they're still able to grind away wins. They've shot it a little better recently. Their two bigs aren't great free throw shooters, but literally everybody else that sees significant minutes is shooting over 80% from the free throw line. That drums them out as about a 70% free throw shooting team. So that's a big plus for Quanzo Martin's team. And Quanzo Martin, is really, he's starting to build this program the way he likes it to be built. They don't necessarily play this modern basketball. You're not really seeing a Missouri team that's going to go out and shoot 30, 35 threes. That's not really who they are. They'll shoot it if they're open, but they're a team that likes to execute, and they're really good at what they do. That's basically the best way to sum it up. If you look up there, 6'2" guard, 170-pound junior, Xavier Pinson, he's sort of the guy that, really is got the ball in his hands a lot. Really, he and his backcourt mate there, Drew Smith, they both are playmaking guards. Xavier's coming off probably one of his best games of his career. He scored 36 and hit 8 threes the other day, and that was Saturday's win over TCU in the SEC Big 12 Challenge. And he's their leading scorer. He averages about 16 a game. Like I said, his backcourt mate there, he's a 6'3", 203-pound redshirt senior guard, Drew Smith. And, last season, Drew really did everything for him. He led him in points and rebounds, assists, steals, shot almost 90%, I think, from the free throw line. He's just a steady player for Quanzo's team. And, and he, like I said, he can make plays as well. He's just behind Pinson on the team for the team lead in assists. So, and he's shooting at about 85% from the line this year. On defense, he's probably the most aggressive player on the Missouri squad. He really is aggressive with getting his hands in the passing lanes. And I would consider him to be a plus defender, on-ball defender as well. So, that's sort of what they look like. Mark Smith's their other backcourt mate, 6'5" senior guard. He's really struggling to shoot the ball. He's only hit, I think, 5 of his last 23 shots over the Tigers' last 3 games. And he came into the season, he was really kind of thought of as being probably their best three-point shooter. But on the season, he's only shooting it at about a 32% clip. So this is not like I said, a great three-point shooting team. They shoot it only about 30% on the season. And honestly, I thought that would be their downfall. I really thought that rebounding, the lack of rebounding overall, they have 2 bigs that we're getting ready to get to that are both really good rebounders. But as a team, I thought three-point shooting and rebounding would be a weakness for them. And thus far during the season, they've managed to mask those, despite only shooting 30% from three-point range, they've still got a good record. So, Kobe Brown there, 6'7", versatile forward. He's a sophomore, super athletic guy. He can get you a rebound, get you a block shot. He's pretty much splitting the minutes at the 4 with Mitchell Smith. And he's just a player that last year, in his freshman year, he got a lot of minutes, and he just kind of kept improving, and that's really what we've seen this year. Just a classic example of a guy that's just getting better over time, which is exactly what you want, And Kobe Brown will definitely be a 4-year player at Missouri, and he's going to be a hard cat to handle, probably his junior and senior seasons. Now, next up is just a beast of a player. I mean, really, I don't, Jeremiah Tillman is a hoss down in the paint. 6'10", 260 pounds. I mean, just so solid for him. Averages 14 and 8. He just takes up a lot of space down there. He when you're 6'10", 260, you're a physical specimen that has to be dealt with. And honestly, I don't know how we're going to deal with him. When you look at Olivier Sarr, obviously he has the height, but I mean, golly, he's given up 40 pounds on him. So I don't know what we do there. And Isaiah Jackson, I would say the same thing. So it's going to be a big challenge to keep him from getting a double and really putting his imprints. And we saw him just coming off. He's coming off a monster game as well against TCU, where he had over 30 points. He and Pinson both did. If it wasn't Pinson hitting threes, it was Tillman just dominating in the paint. So that's kind of what Kentucky's up against. Really is a team that's just gritty. And really, I think the only difference between Missouri and Kentucky is really, if you just look at those last few minutes of games, they found ways to make winning plays and get wins where this team just hasn't, where our Kentucky team just hasn't been able to figure it out. And one of the big problems I kind of feel like has been, the fact that it's been such a moving piece for Kentucky. I mean, and what I mean by that is obviously Boston struggled so much early in the year, but we didn't have Keon. So we were really forced to start Isaiah, and really what we should have been doing probably was splitting the minutes with Lance Ware and Isaiah, and we didn't always do that. We were missing a shooter for the first 7-8 games of the year because we just hadn't, with Clark playing, it really kind of kept Dante Allen off the floor for the most part, so we didn't discover the shooter. All this time, like I said, we don't have Keon Brooks. So, it's sort of been just a weird thing where we just haven't been able to figure out the right combinations at the right time. And, so many people have been critical of Cal for, just not being able to get this team figured out. And, again, it is what it is. We're 5-10. We have to own it. Obviously, he's not been successful in the route that he has went. But, he is a guy that's really excelled in putting teams together. People have complained so much, I think, about the fact that, we had so many new players, and this was, a COVID season where we needed a little bit more, we could have used some more veterans. But really, Cal has excelled throughout his time, really, as a coach here at Kentucky, by being able to get teams to gel and get it, get them to start, right after Christmas is usually when they take off, and by the end of January, that's usually when they start playing some of their better ball, kind of going into February. Really, that's sort of been a running theme, and it's just not happening. Sometimes, it just doesn't happen, and that's the case. I can see that it's wearing it's wearing Coach Cal down because nobody wants to win any more than he does. Anybody that really truly thinks that John Calipari is just here to put players in the NBA and he could care less about the win-loss record. Gosh, I mean, I don't want to be critical of anybody that thinks that way, but it's far, far from reality. It really is. John Calipari is one of the reasons why he's able to recruit and get players of the caliber that he's been able to get here consistently, and even before he came here, is the fact that, I mean, look, I mean, he won at UMass, he won at Memphis, and look what he's done here. One of the things is he has a huge appetite for winning. I mean, that's a huge motivator for him. So to say that, oh, well, he just wants to put guys in the pros. Yeah, I mean, putting guys in the pros, I think, is something that's important to him. But I think it's important to every coach. Coach Cal is just more vocal about it. I mean, everybody wants to see their players do well. I mean, who doesn't want to see your players move on and have great careers? I mean, these are the kids that you recruited, a lot of them since they were 14, 15, 16 years old. And then, so you had a relationship with them maybe 2 or 3 years before they ever stepped on campus. And, and then when they come to, when they actually come here to start playing, and you get to coach these kids and watch them grow even more, you become even more close to them. So, for anybody out there that thinks that way, I'd say, who is not cheering for their players to get to the NBA? Like I said, Cal is just vocal about it. And one of the reasons he's vocal about it is he points to it as something to celebrate, because if you're a kid that's thinking about coming to Kentucky and you see that Cal has a high success rate of getting people drafted in the first round of the NBA, I mean, that's a positive. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's what, if I had a kid, and he had to choose where he was going, I'd much, if he had any chance at all playing in the pros, I'd want him to go somewhere where, they know how to develop. And it's not even just developing the player on the court. It's, what we do here at Kentucky, and I know I've kind of gotten off topic, but what we do here at Kentucky is prepare these players for life after college and being in the pros, and the fact that, the responsibility that you have. And look at some of the guys that we've put in there and some of the charity work that they've done, and some of the, just the amount of time and money that they've donated, John Wall and Cousins. And I mean, I could sit here and go on and on and on and on about the kids that we've had that not just went to the NBA, but are making a positive impact on society. And so, like I said, we get so consumed with wins and losses. So if there was ever a time where I was going to point out some things besides wins and losses, this would be a good year to do it. We're 5-10. I'm not trying to sugarcoat over the fact that this is a very disappointing season, and in a year that we could have all used a good normal UK basketball season as therapy, where we've all been inside. And like I said, I know I've kind of gotten off rambling here, but I do feel like that some of this, overall criticism, we should probably subdue it. I mean, it's easy to want to complain about this, and I wish the plays were better than this, but I mean, at the end of the day, we can say what we want about Coach Cal, but his record speaks for itself. His wins and losses speak for itself. The players that he's been able to bring in here and the impact that they're able to have, not on just the NBA, but on society in general, that's all things that we can celebrate as being Kentucky basketball fans. And, guys, I'll be back with you. We've got Tennessee this weekend. That's always something to get excited about. And I'd love to see Kentucky go down to Missouri and get a win. I mean, that would be awesome. It would certainly get us pumped up and get us excited about the Saturday game. And but regardless, win or lose tonight, I'll be right back here, and we will be previewing Tennessee. We'll take an in-depth look at them. They're struggling to score the ball. They had another bad loss last night. Excuse me, something in my eye there. But another bad loss last night, and they're struggling to score the ball as well. And if you look around the country, there's a bunch of teams that's struggling to score the ball. I was looking the other day at scores, and they were like 20-19 at the half. So, there's a lot of weird stuff going on this season. Like I said, I do appreciate everybody for checking out my videos. It's been a lot of fun. Even during a rough season, I've really enjoyed, developing my relationship with with folks here that have been chatting back and forth with me, and I appreciate everybody's help. I've had so many people out there retweeting my videos. Larry Vault here in Danville with Vault's Views. You can find him on Twitter. Guys like that, I really appreciated everybody's support and sharing the videos, liking them. It's been a big blessing just to be able to have the this show to do each week. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Y'all have a good one. Go Cats!